Hey, my friends, you know that I'm pretty candid, right? You've probably heard about attachment theory in psychology. Well, it's probably more attachment reality because, you know, our childhoods, our formative years do often, make us a certain way when it comes to relationships. And, as far as I'm aware, there's several types of attachment style: anxious, avoidant, secure, and disorganized or disordered. And you can be one, or it can change depending on the dynamic with the other person. I know for a fact with myself, I have been all of them, which I think means that I'm disordered attachment, because I can switch depending on the other person. And it's no one's fault. It's just, I guess a bit of a clash with how people deal with things, I suppose. And I'm just trying to I've been trying to understand more about it from the avoidant point of view, because for myself, I get a bit avoidant when I feel overwhelmed and I want to not have to deal with something, or I feel like I can't be bothered doing something, so I sort of shut down. Is that what it's like when people are in a situationship or relationship and they just don't want to talk, whatever? Is it kind of like a system shutdown? Because I'm trying to understand it. Is it because their feelings terrify them? From the anxious perspective, well, like I said, I've been all of them. Been secure as well. Anxious, probably, I don't want to speak on behalf of everyone, but I would say anxious is probably the worst one to be. But I think avoidants have it pretty rough too. But I'm just curious to hear from people who may be avoidant, because what sort of, if you have friends in your life, right, that, care about you, you care about them, and they, are prepared to help or support you with understanding it yourself, is that more off-putting, or is that helpful in some way? Because I've seen a lot of comments online about how avoidants are cruel and selfish, and it can really feel like that from the receiving end. It can be devastatingly brutal. However, I think with some empathy and kindness, we can appreciate that it's obviously very hard for them if they're shut down and they've had a system shut down. That must be difficult, because it seems like they don't care, but the fact that they had the system shut down in the first place, to me, actually says a lot. I think about very random things. I ponder a lot of stuff, and sometimes I contribute to Reddit discussion groups and other things, and people are really harsh on avoidance. And maybe I used to be one of them, I don't know, but I just think that, sometimes you don't know that you have to do the work, sometimes you do the work, sometimes these things are so ingrained that, it's scary to even start. You don't know where to start. And it's confusing. Yeah, but like, do they, with some time and space, even if it's like a long time, with time and space, do you avoidants eventually say, hey, how you going? Yeah. This is why it's so important that all us parents out there, that we parent well, you know, that we are emotionally present, emotionally available for our children, and that, you know, we give them all the love that they deserve, and we don't withhold affection. We don't give them the silent treatment, because that can manifest as anxious later. We don't leave them to their own devices. Yeah. Anyway, just some random Tuesday night musings.